Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to do a video about the top 10 units that you can summon for right now. Also, I'm gonna need to work really hard on this tournament because this guy is insane. Hopefully I can get first place. But yeah, so a big question that I see asked a lot is, who should I summon for? And so today I thought I would take the time to try to answer that question. So stay tuned, grab some popcorn. This might be a long one, but I hope you're interested. I'm going to be listing the pros and cons of each unit on this list. So make sure you stay tuned and read about them, because maybe they can help you decide whether or not you want to get the unit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. So starting off this list, I want to take a look at the number 10 unit to summon, and it is a support unit, Gojo. So Gojo, oh, we got Limitless 1 over here. So Gojo is a support unit who, on placement, as you can tell, has this move called Unlimited Void. This move will freeze the entire map for I think 8 seconds, and because of that, you can, like, you know, if there's a boss that's about to get out of your range, you can like finish them off, and it also gives Gojo a 100% damage buff. Yeah, so Gojo is a very strong support unit. His DPS is alright. This is about 10k, 11k almost. No, it's like a little bit under 11k. However, his line damage is a little... it leaves a lot to be desired. Full AoE is better than a line because, as you can tell, you know, I know you could like fix it by like having him target last or something, but even if you do that, like look at this, you still miss like half the enemies. So lines, maybe like if we built him here and there wasn't anything back there, that would be better. Or if we could get caught up on the waves, it would be better here. But looking at the pros and cons of Gojo, Time Stop is always a good ability, especially if you get a minus SPA curse on Gojo, because that will affect the cooldown of it. It starts at about a minute, and you can get about 11% off, so you could get potentially a 54-second time stop cooldown, but anything about 55 seconds is good. So don't try to like waste your fingers trying to get like 11% SPA reduction. His move looks cool, albeit being a little bit bad because of the line. It looks sick. Like, look at that. Wabam. Super cool. But he does not have a whole lot of damage. The line AoE is a huge con, and he's quite annoying to evolve. You can only evolve him by doing Infinite Mode, the Cursed Academy Infinite Mode, and you have to get eyes from the bosses that spawn on 30, 40, and 50. But there's only a chance for them to spawn on 30 and 40, and it's only a 10% chance for the eye to drop. It took me about 3 or 4 days of like constantly just AFK grinding. And I was a newer player at that time, so I couldn't even kill the stuff on my own. So I had to use my friend's account. And yeah, it was just a pain in the butt. But yeah, Gojo will start off our list because this time stop ability will always be useful. I know that Dio has a 20-second time stop, but you can't pull for him, so he's not going on this list. Anyway, let's keep going. Coming in at number 9, we have Vegeta. Yes, I know this Vegeta is not evolved. You can check out the evolved stats on the wiki. What this Vegeta doesn't have that the evolved Vegeta would have is a move called Final Flash. And Final Flash actually hits air, so that would end up turning Vegeta into a air-hitting hybrid unit. Which is super good. A cone is also a really nice kind of damage like area. He, as you can tell, it's massive. It rivals Genos. In fact, I was considering putting Genos here, but I forgot that Vegeta was basically just better Genos. Because Genos cannot hit air. However, his final attack looks a lot like this. Something where Genos does have Vegeta beat is his 4 placements, which means getting unique on him is not something you want to do. Vegeta is really good. His SPA is quite low. If you get the evolved version of him, his DPS is like, he has like 130k damage, so I think that puts him around like 13 to 15k DPS. Something around there. Actually, I think, according to the wiki, I took a just quick look at it, it's 17k. That dude is almost at 20k DPS, and you probably will hit that because your stats won't be average. You're going to be having like A's, S's, because you can evolve him and get his stats better. Vegeta, really good unit. Looking at the pros and cons of him, if you roll him, the pros include he hits air on his final flash upgrade. Super duper high DPS. He is the king of Saiyans, so you can't go wrong there. And he's not so bad to evolve because doing Frieza's watch, or Frieza, like the freezing raid, Frieza's raid, is not really too bad to do. It's really easy to just hop in a group. You get a guaranteed like 20 to 30 times 3 every day because of the rank 5, and you can do rank 4 endless. Correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe that in the Storm raid and the Frieza raid, rank 4 is actually, they don't have any air units. So it could be something you like tiny task or just like have on your side screen while you do things. Phone users RIP. Maybe you could like watch TV or something while you do it. But yeah, Vegeta, super good. The con of Vegeta would have to be he doesn't have Super Saiyan Blue. Really sad, but we'll get through this together, guys. Coming in at our number 8 spot is going to be Greed, the Bon from the 7 Deadly Sins. He is a very, very strong bleed unit. In fact, he is the strongest bleed unit in the game right now. He has this ability called Snatch, where as long as he's attacking, as you can tell right there, he gets a bonus to his damage, capping at about, I think it's 90, I want to say it's 99%, maybe it's 90%. His bleed is really good. The circle AoE makes it so that he'll be hitting a chunk of units. However, circle AoE is not a super amazing attack to have. I would always prefer cone or full AoE over that, but you know, you can't win them all. The bleed is super useful against regen enemies. However, as you'll see later on, there are better units for anti-regen, but Greed's Snatch ability just makes him insane. So as you can tell, his damage has gone up quite a bit since we've started this. If you look, it just went up another 14k, which is not a number to mess around with. That's a lot of damage. And as long as he's attacking, it's going to keep going up. And look, it just went up another whole bunch. Super strong unit. Bleed is nothing to laugh about, especially if you have a power on your team. So Greed is a very good bleed unit. The pros and cons of Greed are he bleeds. His Snatch ability will increase his damage by a lot. He has pretty good range. Yes, I know this Greed has S stats on his range, but even without S stats, I think his range is about 33, so it'd probably be about right here. That's really good in order to keep him attacking the whole time and keeping his Snatch buffs up. As you can tell, it started dropping down because he needs to be constantly attacking. And they might have a cooldown timer on them. And as for the cons, he is a little bit annoying to evolve. Fabled Legend units, or the 7 Deadly Sin units, are notorious for being a really, really annoying set of units to evolve because you have to end up doing like 3 different legend stages. On release, those legend stages, like the final one, was really hard for people to clear too. Other than that, though, Greed is a really good unit. Doesn't hit air, but, you know, a lot of units don't hit air. And if every unit hit air, there would be really nothing to, like, praise them about, right? There'd be nothing to praise hill units about. There'd be nothing to praise hybrid units about. But I would say Greed is a solid pickup, especially if you like his character design from 7 Deadly Sins. Coming out at number 6, we have Meliotis, who has a natural 50% crit. Mine has 62 because I have Lost Vein on him right now. Meliotis does a lot of damage. I know I have Celestial on him, but that's only a 10%. So that would be about 22k without it. Insane. And he's critting more often than not if you put Nail or Lost Vein on him. Beautiful unit. It's just really good, and he's actually really good on this current tournament with mini range, because when he does get to hit, he's smacking a lot. A few things about Meliotis that I think you should consider before rolling for him are the pros and cons. Are that the pros, he has huge damage, absolutely massive damage. He looks super cool too. I really think his like model looks really good. Like, look at that. I love wings. And his shiny looks even better. It's like orange and has like more armor on it. Some bad parts about him. Oh, like, sorry. The last pro is that he has 50% base crit. That's really good, especially for a high base damage and decent SPA. But his cons are that he's quite annoying to evolve, like the Fabled characters are. He doesn't hit air, and his final upgrade is, you know, my least favorite kind of circle AoE thing. However, if you look past those aspects, I think he's a very, very good unit to have on your team, and especially if you like 7 Deadly Sins. He'll never be a bad character to roll on, so if you do like Meliotis, definitely get him. Izo is a ground unit that hits air on his final upgrade, Ultra Fagor. And it hits 3 times. So let's go check it out. Bam. Okay, well, you can't really see the 3 hits because of how distracting the FX is. But trust me, it does hit 3 times. Here, we can see here. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, so, oh yeah, there you go. There it was. Aizen is an extremely good unit. Really good for tournaments because this Kanzen Saimin, it'll turn your base invulnerable for 10 seconds. It used to be 20, so it used to be better, but still really good ability for leaderboards. Some pros and cons of Izo is he's hybrid, he has multi-hit, and he has gigantic damage. Some cons involve that he's really expensive to max at those last few upgrades. One of the most annoying units to evolve, tied with Hoochie, maybe even worse than Hoochie, because you have to do legend stages. And if you don't have spare mythics to like feed the box or feed, you know, like the worthy souls, it's just so time consuming. And his SPA, I have SS and unique, so his SPA is a little bit lower, and an SPA curse. But without that, his SPA is quite high. At max rank, it's like 15-16 seconds. So that's why he's a little bit down on this list, because there are just better units, Cough X Escanor Cough, that do his job better. But overall, I would say he is a great unit to get still. And because he's on the standard banner, he's a little bit easier to grab. On number 5, Shigaraki, he is the first magic unit that can stop regen with his decay. So the units aren't weak enough for me to show it off, but basically this true damage he has will end up doing about 120% of his damage at max rank. And he hits 3 times. Let's take a look at that real quick. So if you see it, it'll be bam, bam, bam. And each of those will have their own independent proc of decay. So, and it's full AoE, and you guys know how I love full AoE. So I think this is the unit that beats out Greed. Greed has his circle damage, and it's really good with the snatch and his bleed, but the fact that this is full AoE, really decent SPA as well, And the fact that this mode will or like this upgrade will do about 120% of his damage, I can't recommend him any more than that. And 3 placement is really good for that. So some pros and cons of Shigaraki involve: he stops regen, he has full AoE, he has a 120% DK damage at his devastation upgrade. Some cons though are it sucks to evolve My Hero units. They are the worst to evolve because there's no quest for them yet, and it's just the legend stages are not fun to do. If you want to be efficient, you have to do the legend stage 6, and that's not the easiest one to solo. So yeah, and he's a little pricey for his last 2. I think his last 2 upgrades in total are like 45,000 total, so that's a little expensive, but great unit nonetheless. At number 4 we have Hoochie. Hoochie is a support unit with an extremely low SPA, really high range, and pretty decent damage. His damage number isn't high, but if you combine it with his SPA, what is that? That's about 20k DPS right here, right? 60k divided by about 3. Yeah, that's 20k DPS. Yeah, I know the Divine is increasing a little bit, but that's still huge. Due to his low SPA, he can break shields really well. His time acceleration ability is, I think, the best active in the game. It reduces all SPA by 50%, as you can tell here. So essentially doubling all units damage. It's not even just in his range either. This time acceleration ability will increase, will decrease the SPA of every unit on the map, global range, by 50%. Even your allies, so not just your units. So looking at the pros and cons of Hoochie, he has the best active in the game. His range is massive. The circle is massive. So even though I don't really like circle damage types, well, for the tournament going on right now, they're absolutely the best. I don't really like them, but his is so big, it kind of, you know, I don't really know what to say, you know, like, because it's so big, it kind of like defeats that downside. And he has multi-hit, so he's hitting fast, he's hitting a lot in his single hit, so he's destroying shields. An essential unit for breaking shields if you don't have like Crush or another multi-hit unit. The only downsides to him are he is super annoying to evolve. Of course, you know, he only hits ground, but that kind of makes sense with him. He's super annoying to evolve because you have to get Geo's Bone, and then you have to defeat 36 bosses on Cape Canaveral, or whatever it's called, the JoJo map. And then the kicker, you have to defeat, I want to say it's like 5,000 or 7,500. I forget the amount, but you have to get Sinner's Souls. And that is involving Hoochie getting the kill on enemies. Hoochie has to like defeat the enemies, and they have to be on JoJo's stage. Maybe he doesn't have to defeat them, and maybe they're just takedowns. But from what I remember, Hoochie, it's just not the best because you have to do the JoJo stage, and the JoJo stage is easily one of the most annoying stages in the game because they have the bosses that stun your units. They have the, you know, helicopters that are just, they're shielded, so they're annoying to take out. And then they have the super fast bikes, just not a pleasant time. Oh my gosh. So yeah, if you spectate him, you're gonna get a really nice perspective of him jumping everywhere. I'm gonna not like make you guys suffer from that. But yeah, Hoochie, best support in the game. You should always have a Hoochie when you're trying to do a high tier content. He'll make any map significantly easier, especially if you pop time acceleration to defeat the boss. Next, we're going to look at Itachi. So Itachi is a fire ground magic unit who has burn. You can, and I would also put Endeavor in this spot. So you can get either or, both are really good. I did a comparison video comparing Itachi unique to Endeavor unique. You could go check that out. I'll put a link to it in the description. Itachi has 3 placements. His burn does 100% of his damage. So if you put the Mangekyo Eye on him, he'll end up doing triple his damage every time he hits the enemy. His upgrades aren't too expensive. They're a little expensive, but everyone feels worth it to get. He's super duper strong. I think Itachi and Endeavor are really good units. Itachi definitely triumphs more. Look at that range. He hits just everywhere on the map. Like I said, I've done a whole video on this, so you could check that out if you want a more in-depth review on Itachi versus Endeavor. I think they both hold a really good spot in number 3 on this list. So the pros and cons of Itachi are the Mangekyo Eye definitely increases his damage by a whole lot. You will be doing massive amounts every time Itachi does his attack. And because of the burn and the long duration of the burn, let's say he hits a strong unit around here. That unit could walk out of his range and still has a good chance to get killed or die because he has the burn effect. He has a very fast SPA and a very high range. You can check the wiki for more like stats, like his base stats without unique on him. But either or, like the increase from unique is like 10% to each. So if anything, his SPA would be at like 6.1 right now, and his range would be at 40, which is still huge. So Itachi, really good unit. Cons, the only downside to Itachi is that he's ground only. And if you don't have unique on him, he is only 3 placements, but I don't really consider that a con because a lot of units are only 3 placements. But yeah, Itachi, definitely solid number 3. Solid if you get him. Endeavor as well. Both are really good for the number 3 spot. And number 2, we're going to have Metal Knight. So Metal Knight is a hill unit that you can pull in the banner, just like every other unit in this top 10. And he is absolutely crazy. He has a really good DPS, and I would compare him to Golden Frieza, and I would say that they both kind of share this spot. It's really preference on who you want. And maxing him out, I would say a bad part about him would be he has a lot of upgrades, and it kind of gets expensive towards trying to get him to max. But Metal Knight is a solid unit, especially when you evolve him. These drones are super good. It looks like they do, oh yeah, they do half of his damage, which is crazy. They do half of his damage, so he's very, very strong. So the pros and cons of Metal Knight would have to be, he has huge damage when he's even unevolved, so as soon as you pull him from the banner, you can start using him ASAP. He summons more drones for more damage. Look, he already has 4 out right now because there's so many units, so he was able to get, that's just ridiculous. He just does so much damage. Like, Metal Knight does so much damage, and you can see his SPA is extremely low too. I mean, that does help with the Divine, but you know what I mean. Some cons for him, though, are, I would say, he's quite annoying to upgrade. Thankfully, with the addition to the quests with Nami, getting the cores is not as bad as it used to be, but still a little bit annoying to do. Alien Spaceship's kind of an annoying like map to clear. Other than that, though, I would say his cost to upgrade is a little expensive. Same with Frieza. So those are the only 2 real cons. I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons here, and that makes him a solid spot for the number 2 contender for the top 10 best summonable units. And number 1 comes to nobody's surprise, right? It is the man, the GOAT, the living legend, Escanor. I wanted to show you just why he's so good. So this is a level 1 Escanor, 12k, 6.1 SPA. I mean, this is like, you know, this is like S plus or something. But 39 range. This is an Escanor that has allowed his Sunshine buff to be completely maxed out. And I want to show you just the difference. So look here. This is an Escanor with maxed out SPA, maxed out, or not maxed out SPA, sorry, his maxed out Sunshine on his damage and his range. Oh, let me close this. And then this is an Escanor that's just freshly placed. So as you can tell, it's almost doubling his range and it's over double his damage. That's just ridiculous. So let me show you why he's so good. You guys already probably know, but so the range gets even bigger, and then it becomes the amazing full AoE we all know. Lost Vein Relic works really well on him because critting full AoE is disgusting. Here, let's check out what it looks like. Yeah, beautiful. Just beautiful. This unit has really no cons to him, but yeah, let's look at the pros and cons. So pros, his range is huge. Here, let's just finish it out. Look at that. That means he's hitting all of this every 5 seconds. That's just crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. He has low SPA. I think without I think this is like S plus SPA and then Divine. I think without that, he would be at about 6.5 SPA. Still amazing. Yours will probably be better than that. Probably like at a 6 or a 5.5 just because you're going to be getting better stats on him. He has full AoE. That's always a plus. He's just beautiful. Let's take a look at him. Look at that. Just no words to describe. Very cost effective. Each time he upgrades, the cost increases a little bit, and every time you upgrade him, it feels so worthwhile. He's sitting at 176k. Without Divine and without S stats, he'd probably be at about 150k, something like that. Just an absolutely goated unit. You should always roll for him if you don't have him and he's on the banner. And he's a hybrid. I forgot to mention, if you check here, flying. He'll hit flying once he gets his full AoE at upgrade 8, I believe. I have no words. The only con about him is he's a little bit annoying to evolve because you have to get 1 million Sunshine. But it's so worth it. It's so worth your time. And if you grind the portals that give you, like the purple portals, they have a chance to give you Merlin. So while you're grinding, you have a chance to get a secret unit. So it's really just a win-win. Yeah. I really can't express how good he is. Beautiful. But that will be the end of this video. I hope you guys are now a little bit more aware of what units you should roll on and which units you probably shouldn't roll on. There's a lot more units you can get that weren't in this video, but these are the 10 that you'll always have success with if you get them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys think any unit should have been on here, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I'd be happy to see and hear your perspectives. If there's anything you didn't agree with, that's completely fine too. I'm always down to discuss. Anyway, thank you guys so much and see you next time.